Jaguars fans, what is going on? Welcome back into the fan cave. We're going to put week one behind us here. We're going to put that disappointing performance behind us. It's on to week two. We've got Trevor Lawrence's home opener this week, week two, in the bank against the Denver Broncos. It's going to be an awesome game. The atmosphere is going to be electric. It's going to be packed. There's going to be Duvals flying around left, right, up, down. It's going to be insane. Jacksonville is going to be going nuts, jumping off the lights. It's going to be electric. The biggest thing with this is how well does Trevor perform in his home debut? He played well. He had the 51 attempts, the 3 interceptions, the 3 touchdowns, the 300 yards. That's all fine and dandy, minus the 51 attempts. That's the big glaring. There's two big glares for me. It's the 51 attempts and then the 3 interceptions. If Trevor can limit those interceptions if he has one, I'm perfectly okay with it. If Trevor has won a game, I'm okay with a rookie quarterback throwing 17 interceptions across the season. I'm okay with it. I guess granted it'd be what, 19 now for the season. Okay. It's a high number, but I'm okay with a rookie quarterback having that many interceptions. It's learning. I'm not going to be happy with it, don't get me wrong, but if he throws one, it's not the end of the world in my opinion. Now, how well does he perform against a decent Broncos secondary? They have arguably the best safety in the entire league, and Justin Simmons just got paid buku crazy money to stay a Denver Bronco, and also just bring in a brand new quarterback or corner in the draft. So how does he play? I believe Patrick Surtain is their corner in Denver. So how well does he play against those two arguably very good, and Justin Simmons is an elite level safety. So how well does he play with them back there? And then at the same time, how well do the receivers catch the ball? That's not something I thought I was going to have to talk about. How well the receivers can catch. They're NFL level wide receivers, and they have 6 drops in the week 1 game against the Houston Texans. 6 drops. So if I'm Urban, I got the wide receivers on the jugs machine, and for 30 minutes a day, your hands are gonna be so damn tired of catching the ball. You're gonna be so sick and tired of standing in front of that machine. You're gonna fear dropping that pass so bad that you're not gonna dare do it again. So you cannot drop the ball in the NFL, especially when it hits you right in the hands and you have open running room in front of you. You can't do it. Now to the other side of that, like I said, 51 pass attempts for Trevor Lawrence. Not okay. I get it. We were down the majority of the game. But in the first half, you cannot abandon the run. You can't. For them to split 14 carries, 9 to Hyde, 5 to Robinson, that can't happen. Even despite the fact that it's a second and forever, a third and forever. Third and forever, okay, I'll listen to an argument. But run a little draw play, get something going with the run game. Don't just let them have the 5-6 in the box and then just cover everybody, knowing that you're going to pass it for 50 plus times in Trevor's first ever game in the NFL. Not okay in my opinion. You got to get J-Rob more involved, at least in the beginning. In the first quarter, unless the game's like 28-0, I really would have a hard time listening to any argument about why James Robinson shouldn't be getting why he should have 5 should be the first 2-3 drives. That should be his total carry amount. And that's still a very small amount. James Robinson needs to have 15 to 18 carries a game. That's base level. Give James Robinson the football. The offensive line played well outside of the penalties. Outside of the penalties, they played very, very well. Every time there was a big hole for James Robinson to run through, get a first down, it would get called back for a holding on a tackle. I know Brandon Linder had one very early in the game on a 15-yard run from Robinson. So if they can tidy up those penalties, keep those holes open, this is going to be a good offensive line in my opinion. It's not a terrible. It's the interior. I'll say that the interior is not a bad group. The tackles, they're the tackles, and they're going to have a massive matchup here in week 2 against the Denver Broncos with Von Miller and potentially Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb didn't play week 1 against the Giants. How does he play against the Broncos or against the Jaguars week 2? That's still yet to come out. All signs are saying that he should be healthy, but it might be a rough day for Cam Robinson and Juwan Taylor if they can't protect Trevor Lawrence against Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. That's going to be a big question mark for them. The running game, that's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. That defense was not good. They gave up 37 points to a team that was expected to have the number 1 pick overall in next year's draft. should never happen. They had Mark Ingram go for 80-plus yards on 25 carries and a score. And they're coming up against a equally good rushing attack, in my opinion. Last week we played a mobile quarterback and a good running back. This week we're same thing, mobile quarterback and a good serviceable running back. Melvin Gordon last week had 100 yards. He had 100 yards and a score on 11 rushes, averaged almost 10 yards a rush. So that makes me nervous, because if Mark Ingram had that level of success, what is Melvin Gordon going to do after he rushed for almost 10 yards a carry against the New York Giants? Teddy Bridgewater, he's always had that ability to run the ball. He's always had that, he's always just had that slight elusiveness. He rushed for 3 for 19. He's those 6-yard rushes, those 8-yard rushes, those can make the difference in a first down or a third and short. Incompletion on first down, 2nd and 10, 6-7 yard rush from the quarterback. Now you're looking at a 3rd and 3, and that's an easy conversion for an NFL offense that's capable. The good news is I say good news. I don't mean that in the way that I'm happy Jerry Jeudy's injured. But at the same time, Jerry Jeudy's injured. That's a fact. That's good news for this Jaguar secondary that played very poorly against the Houston Texans and Brandon Cooks and Chris Conley and Danny Amendola. So by all means, it's good news, because they're losing their number 1 wide receiver. I hope he has a quick, healthy recovery after week 2. But that opens up Noah Fant. Noah Fant's probably going to be their number 1 target for Teddy Bridgewater. He had 6 receptions, 60 yards last week. He's a decent, serviceable tight end. I'd give him top 10, maybe 11 in the league. And he's going to be their number 1 receiving threat. How does this team adjust to it being from Brandon Cooks to Noah Fant being that big target receiver, I guess? He's going to get a lot of looks from Teddy Bridgewater this week. And so they're going to look to spread the ball around. That's what they did week 1 against the Giants. 9 different receivers caught a pass last week. So how well can the Jaguars game plan, prepare for 8 different receivers going up into week 2, when that exact same offensive scheme and offensive coordinator have the ability to game plan for a very poor Jaguar secondary? Now, this one's going to be tough for me, because this game prediction is going to be tough, because if the Jags get the running game going like I hope they do, this is a very decent offense, in my opinion. It's a serviceable offense. Now, I'm going to have a hard time really giving a prediction on this game, because it really depends, in my opinion, on how well the Jaguars are able to run the ball. They've shown that Trevor can sling it all over the place. They've shown that. We know that. It's a matter of how well does James Robinson run? How much does James Robinson run? Can this offensive line get their penalties fixed? And if they get the running game going, where Robinson's getting 15 touches and he's getting 3.5 to 4 yards a carry, even if he averages what he did in Houston at the 5, awesome. I have the Jaguars winning this game. It's going to be a close game if they do win. I have them winning somewhere around 17, 16 points for the Jaguars, and then probably 2 touchdowns for the Broncos. So if they get the running game going, I'm going to say 16-14 Jaguars. But if they have to throw it all over again like they did in Houston, the Broncos are going to win this game. They're going to be able to pin their ears back, harass Trevor Lawrence, because at the end of the day, they have Von Miller and potentially Bradley Chubb playing in this game. They're going to be able to pin their ears back, get up defensive schemes, and they're going to harass Trevor Lawrence all day if that's the case. And with that happening, it's going to be somewhere, in my opinion, about 20-10 Denver. So I really, really hope this Jaguars team does not fall to 0-2, because that would just be a really demoralizing thing, especially having to go up against the Arizona Cardinals the very next week. I think that'll be one of the biggest things to look out for, because if this team goes 0-2 against Arizona, or into the game against Arizona, this is going to be a bad thing, because then we're going to potentially start 0-3. Because if they lose to Houston, Denver, and then play Arizona, who the hell is going to pick the Jaguars to win this game? I probably won't. And so if the Jaguars get it going, Jaguars win. Jaguars win if they get the run game going. If they don't, Denver wins. That cut and dry and simple. But Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at JagsFanCave, exact same handle. I'm always posting awesome little polls for you guys to interact with. And I'm also trying to just gauge interest on new videos and what you guys think is going on in the league. So be sure to follow me on Twitter at JagsFanCave, as well as like, subscribe, and share this video. It helps the channel immensely, gets it out there to new faces, and it brings more people into this wonderful Jags Fan Cave community we got growing rapidly right now. So with that being said, stay safe and go Jaguars.